We're back, moving quite quickly. Let's go ahead and put this object where we want it. We know that we have one big bolt there and several bolts all around. So let's go ahead and put this one big bolt in place over here. It doesn't help that we're offset here. So what I can do is I can move this object back so that it's right on the axis. And it is a good idea when you're modeling to actually put it back on the axis straight, so it's not curved like that. So how do I do that? Channel box editor. You can see that we've rotated 15 degrees. If we just take that back to 0, this channel box editor is that third dialog over here. It does come in very useful. Now you can see it's straight on, and if you wanted to, you could turn this and rotate it, but I'm not going to worry about that. I do want to keep this straight, and I did want to show you the channel box editor so that you could keep things a little bit more organized. So I've got this bolt here. I want to move it into position. I'll go to the modeling toolkit, and on my translate tool, I'm still in component mode. I'm going to go back to object. I'm going to go back to world, and you see how that turned this axis when I changed from object to world. I'm going to keep these straight on the world axis. Right, and just rotating around to kind of see where these go. I do want to keep them all the same size and roughly the same size as on the other box. So to duplicate, you just Control D and move it over. It's that simple. We will want to rotate some around for the front, and how we do that, we just go to the rotate tool with E hotkey. What I'm going to do is make sure it's not on object because this is a little bit off. I'm going to go back to world so it's right on. And if I go to my channel box editor, then I can rotate it 90 degrees, which is what I want. So now you'll notice that even though it's straight right here, I'm off 31 degrees. So if I rotate on this x-axis, which I want to do, watch what happens. That is not facing the right direction. Now remember, we corrected something. We had built this at a different angle. So how do I get this back to normal so that this isn't rotating off the X? Well, if we go to modeling toolkit here, we see that we're on world mode. That's good. So what we need to do is normalize this. How can we do that? Well, we don't want it to be rotated at all. We want it to be 0, 0, 0. So let's go into edit, delete all by type history, right there. And then if I go here, I can freeze, rotate, and I go back to 0. Do you see how that flipped this? Now, if I rotate 90, it faces the right direction. Everything is looking good. Make sure that's exactly at 90 degrees, which is why I used the channel box editor in the first place. In this case, it looks like I'm at actually negative 90 degrees. There we go. Now it's facing forward. Seems like a lot to learn, but when you master all these little things I'm showing you, you'll feel really confident as a modeler, and you'll just buzz through this really quickly. Once again, Control D to duplicate that over, and I've got these buttons or whatever they are. We also need to make some smaller versions for all of this. Looks like I've got one here in the center. I need Control D. We'll move it over. Okay, in the next lesson, I'm going to scale it down. In the next lesson, I want to show you how to color these things so that we can kind of see what we're doing a little better. I'll see you then.